Hi guys, this is Cheryl with Architect Destiny. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys decided to tune in today for another video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please think about it. Go ahead and hit that subscription button and also hit the notification bell so that when I upload new videos, you'll be one of the first to know. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up because that helps my channel. And it also does a little something for my heart too, to know that people like my videos. So with that being said, what I'm gonna do today is talk about color coding and time blocking in my Hobonichi cousin. I've kind of mentioned this in videos before, kind of in passing, just by way of explaining what I was doing. But I don't think I've ever really talked about my mindset behind it and, why I do it and how it helps me kind of manage my life and make progress toward my goals. So I just thought I would take some time and do that today. You probably have seen my goals color code card, and this is just an index card that I flipped over to the blank side and did my little hand lettering. I think I probably used a mild liner for this, and outlined it and with a fine liner, and just kind of thought about what are the major areas of my life for which I would probably have goals or want to make progress and improvements, where I want to focus time and energy because those areas of my life are important to me and worthy of time and attention. Some of them are, most of them, I guess, would be obvious areas. But these are the ones that I selected as being like my primary focus areas where I want to reach certain goals or make certain improvements over time. So I have noted myself, and that would include anything about myself, my mental health, my physical health, personal development, things like that. My marriage, so my relationship with my husband and everything that pertains to that. Architect Destiny, which is this YouTube channel. It is also an Instagram page. It is also a Facebook page, which I don't use very much. I also have some affiliate relationships through Architect Destiny. And in the future, I would like to do some other things with Architect Destiny in the way of building a small business. So that is an area of focus as well. Home and family. That has to do with our family as a whole, meaning our nuclear family, my husband and I and our two sons, CJ and Cameron. Our home, literally the place where we live and anything to do with our home. That being chores, shopping, cooking, running errands, projects, anything like that. Doing things for my boys or for my husband. If I need to do something for them, that would go under this category as well. And finances, that just has to do with our budget, paying bills, taxes, doing taxes, anything that, taxes, excuse me, I finished pronouncing the word, anything that has to do with our family finances. Career, that has to do with specifically with my 9-to-5 job, because I do work a 9-to-5 job. So the gray has to do with that, and then the pink has to do with church and community related activities. So these are what I call my goal focus areas. And this is the color code that I use at different places in my planner. And I'm just gonna open her up, first of all, just to this week, so I can talk about how I color code in my weekly. I just want to make sure that I'm in frame, and hopefully my planner is straight. It's hard to tell sometimes. The first area that you'll notice that I use this color code or some variation of these colors is in my weekly spread. This is what you see most often when I'm sharing my planner. And I decided, excuse me, my voice is a little froggy today. I'm not sure why. I might need to take a sip of coffee. Okay, maybe that'll help a little bit. I decided probably, I guess, the beginning of this year or maybe even last year that I was going to start color coding my weekly spreads. And I wanted to do that because it helps me in a couple of ways. The first thing is that because I do work a 9-to-5 job, I want to be sure that I am optimizing the free time that I do have to do things that are important to me. Working the best part of the day every day, or I should say 5 days a week, does not afford a lot of time to focus on these other things unless I'm very intentional about it. So in my weekly spread, the color coding essentially is like a pre-plan for me as far as ideally this week. How would I like to spend my time, or how do I need to spend my time in a lot of cases because I have to go to work. There's certain things around my house and to do with my family that are priorities that are required in order to keep our household running smoothly. They have to be done. I need to make myself a priority in the things that I need, and those often show up as far as my AM routine, my PM routine, and I try to walk or do some form of exercise or moving my body at least 4 times a week. That hasn't been happening consistently lately, but I continue to have it as a goal. And so using this color code is not like a set in stone element necessarily. It's more of a pre-plan that, for instance, on my day off on Monday, I did not film on this Saturday as I had planned. I was lazy, I was tired, I didn't feel like filming. I just wanted to relax and chill and not have to do anything. But I did know that I had this Monday off after Easter, and so I did have time during that day that I can film, and as you can see, I did. And I allotted 2 hours. This orange color is the Architect Destiny color. I allotted 2 hours for this. When you talk about, creating taking the thumbnail photo, creating a thumbnail from the photo in Canva, emailing the thumbnail to myself, filming the video, editing the video, and uploading the video and adding the thumbnail to it and putting the description and adding cards at the end and all the things that come along with the upload part of the process, then doing a promo post on Instagram. I allotted myself 2 hours. Depending on what kind of video I'm filming, it may or may not take me that long. But this is a plan. This is to say, filming a video on this day is important to me, and I'm setting aside this amount of time for that activity. It may take a little more time, it may take a little less time, but I'm allotting time to it. Same thing with doing laundry. Did I do laundry here? I started the laundry, I didn't finish the laundry. So that was a carryover from the Saturday before that I needed to fold laundry. I needed to do meal prep. I was supposed to do it on Sunday. I did not. So typically I don't do that unless I know I have a plan B for getting it done and still keeping things on track. So I knew I had this day off, and it wasn't truly a relaxed day. It was a catch up on all the stuff you didn't do the previous weekend. So I use the color coding in my weekly spread kind of as a pre-plan to help me prioritize the remaining time that I have during the days to do things that are important. We had some people join our church in the last few weeks. So we had a new members orientation on Thursday and Friday evening. Normally, I would be doing something else on Thursday evenings. Typically, that's my Architect Destiny Day, where I will respond to comments on YouTube. I might do some kind of research or something like that with regard to Architect Destiny. But I knew because we had new members orientation on these 2 days that I had to figure out a different way to get everything done this week. So this does help me to manage the time that I'm not working in a way that is productive. It is focused on the areas that are most important to me in my life. And it also gives me an opportunity to see the days and times where I have free time. I'm the type of person that if I'm like go, go, go all the time, or if I'm around a lot of people all the time or engaged with people for long periods of time, like day after day, I recharge by being alone. Some people are energized by other people. Those would be extroverts. And some people are energized by being alone. That would be introverts, and that would be me. So if I have a really busy week or busy day or a hectic day at work, or I've got a lot of engagement with other people integrated into my week, I know I'm going to need some downtime to recharge. And so I can see the days and times when I have free time that I can just sit around or read or look at YouTube videos or take a nap or just do whatever I want to do to have that me time that I need for my mental health and emotional health, and just to recharge so that I can get on with the next thing. So you'll see these areas that are blank. In my weekly spread, I do not mind white space, because that means that is time that's not accounted for. That doesn't mean I'm not using that time for something. I may be able to do something else during this time that I wasn't able to do here, or I may choose to do something that I didn't pre-plan for during these times, if I'm so inclined. But what I want to be able to see when I look at my weekly is, how am I spending my time that I'm busy doing things, and what time do I have that is either free time or time that I can choose to do something else if I want to. Another thing that's really important to me is to make sure that I denote in my planner time that I spend with my husband, because we both work full time. He is a pastor. I am in the financial services industry, and we both work from home. But we're not, hanging out together at home during the week, of course, because we both are working. So our time together is a priority. And typically, the huge blocks of time that we spend together are on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on Friday and Saturday, if we don't have a date night where we're going out to eat or going to a movie or hanging out with friends, then typically our date nights are spent sitting in bed watching movies on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu or something like that, and maybe having a glass of wine or a drink or two and just talking and laughing and watching movies. So typically that's what we do on Fridays and Saturday nights. Is our time. And unless something else is planned, like one of us is going to be out of town, or one of us has some other engagement that we need to attend, then this is the time that we spend together. And it's, committed time. It's important time. The other thing that I think is so cool that we do together is we plan together on Sunday evenings. I converted my husband to someone who thought he could keep everything in his head, to someone who can't live without his planner. Yay me. I did it. I bought him a planner. He used to have I used to buy him a little jotter planner, just kind of, a small little thing, unintimidating, unintrusive, that he could just write down, the things he needs to do or places he needs to be. It was a daytimer jotter size, like a little small thing, smaller than a Hobonichi Weeks even. And that's kind of what he started off with. And eventually he moved into an A5 rings planner or classic size Franklin Covey planner, which is what he uses now. So we sit down on Sunday evenings and we plan together for the next week. And so we can collaborate and converse about who's doing what when, and honey, are you available for this? Or I just want you to know on this day I'm going to be here. And, it's good time for us, number one, to spend together, but we're spending time together doing something productive. And it's time just to talk about our weeks and what they're going to look like. And, if we need to find a time where we need to do something together, we both have our planners and we're working on them. So it's a good time to talk about that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I use my color coding for time blocking in my weekly. And just by way of recap, it shows me how much of my time is spent in my focus areas for my goals during the week. And also it is kind of a pre-plan of how do I need to spend my time that is not allocated to work in order to get other things done that are important to me. So that's how I use this goals color code for time blocking in my weekly. The other place where you will see my color coding is in my goals section of my planner. And I sit down in December or maybe the first part of January and I plan out my goals for the year. And I want to make sure that I have goals set up for myself in all of the areas that are important. That are important to me for that year. And so I have, at least 2 or 3 goals in each area for the year. And I have them color coded. So when I go over to my quarterly goals, I also have a color code and I try to balance things out. Now, every quarter, am I going to be able to touch all of these goals? No, probably not. But I try to make sure they're balanced. And some goal focus areas may not get touched every single quarter. For instance, you don't see any gray here for my career. There's not anything that I'm particularly doing this year with regard to my career that's any different than, the norm. I'm not currently looking for another job. I'm not currently working on a promotion or anything like that that I would need to set a goal for in my personal planner. So you don't see that here at this time. Last year, you probably toward the end of the year would have seen some goals in gray in my annual and my quarterly goal planning. So yeah, I just try to use my color code for my goals to help me achieve some balance as I'm setting up goals. I want to be able to touch each important area at some point during the year and move it forward. It may not be a monumental move forward, but a move forward in every area. Some areas may get more focus and therefore I might make greater strides in certain areas, in certain quarters or in certain years. But as long as I can kind of keep some kind of momentum going in each area over the course of time, I feel like that's a good thing. I try to be mindful of, giving myself grace and not having goals be burdensome. I want it to be a source of inspiration. I want it to be fun. I want to feel like, when I achieve something as something to celebrate over and not think about that thing that I didn't achieve as something to grieve over or to beat myself up about. But I have goals because I want to be intentional about moving forward in the important areas of my life. And so that's what this is. And I use this color code to help me kind of achieve that balance of touching the various different areas at some point during the quarter, during the year, and being able to look back over the year and say, yes, I did move forward in these different areas. This color code I try to translate to my monthly goal planning as well. But as some of you know, as I've kind of talked about in other videos, I'm kind of struggling with using this format for my monthly goal planning. As you can see, I did try to color code here. This is January. But I'm kind of struggling with the way this is set up, and perhaps maybe my goals don't fit nicely and neatly into this method of being able to track them. So I'm still kind of working on this, but I do try to color code in my monthly goal planning as well, just to kind of see the distribution of, focus areas over the month and the things that I'm working on, the areas that I'm working on. There's another attempt in February. Just really struggling with how to use this effectively. March was kind of a bust with regard to this tracker. And I just kind of documented some of my struggles over here as I was checking in mid-month in my month-end review. But I just continue to try to use it. I did not color code here for this month. I can always go back and do that. I was just really trying to be more focused on trying to set goals that I was able to track using this format, things that are more goals that are more measurable, I guess, that I could use this for. So it's still kind of hard to keep track of because I don't come to this spread daily or, even weekly sometimes to make sure I'm marking, definitely not daily, because I have a daily tracker in my personal section. It's very hard for me to remember to daily come here and mark off here. And it's kind of redundant anyway, because all of these things that I have on my monthly plan are on my personal tracker in the back as well. So it's kind of redundant for me to do all of these things daily on this tracker, to mark this tracker as well. So just stick with me as I try to figure out this plan, this monthly plan tracker for my monthly goals. I like it. I feel like it could be so useful, but I'm just kind of still struggling with it. I'm hoping I'll be able to figure it out and stick with it, but if not, I'll come up with another way that works better for me, because doing yearly, quarterly, and monthly goal planning, I think, is the way to really ensure that you're making steady progress. You need to be, or I feel like I need to be attentive to my goals all the time. And even like I can say not just annually, quarterly, and monthly, weekly as well, because I'm tracking the time that I'm spending in these areas and what I'm doing to be productive in these areas even during the week. So people have different views on color coding, and I wasn't much into it for a long time in my planning life, but I found that it's really useful as a way to set my thoughts and set my course. Even if I don't stick, religiously to it, then it's a plan. It's a plan for how I want to spend my time in order to make progress on my goals and in order to be productive during my weeks. So, yeah, I hope that was helpful for you to kind of hear me talk through how I color code in my planner as far as my weekly spreads, and then in my yearly, quarterly, and monthly goal planning. I keep all of my markers that I color code with in my pencil case, so they are always right there handy for me to use when I'm doing my planning during the week, and also, when I'm working in my goal planning section. So yeah, color code card, markers, planner. That's it. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. I did this totally unscripted. I just had a thought in my head of what I wanted to share and just grabbed my planner and turned on the camera. But I think that I did accomplish the goal of just kind of letting you know how this works for me and how it helps me to make steps forward in my goals. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. That would mean a lot to me. And please, again, like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. That would be much appreciated. So that's it for me for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.